Hey, I'm Brian Masters with Shiloh Coffee Supply and Hope Coffee. And today I want to show you how to do a maintenance type thing on the retro unit, on the lever unit. These do have annual maintenance that you need to do sometime sooner if you are in a high volume shop, which has to do with this lever and the insides of this, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But these three seals, they're hot when they're in that group head. They do wear out over time, and so I'm going to show you how to replace those. So to begin, I'm going to step behind us to the machine to show you how to start this process. Okay, to start the process of replacing the seals in the group head, you will want to turn your machine off and depressurize the steam with the steam valves. And once that's done, then you can begin with a 4 millimeter Allen wrench, and there are 4 screws right underneath. So those are ones you're going to want to turn out. There's 2 on the front, and you'll see 2 on the back as well. Once those are removed, then you can lift this whole assembly out. Again, if it has been on, it will be hot, so be careful on getting it out. And then I'm going to show you how to replace those seals. Okay, so as you are getting ready for this whole process, I want to talk about the tools that you're going to need. You will need the 4 millimeter Allen wrench that turns out the screws that are underneath this group head. You will need a zip tie, which we recommend, and I'll show you why here in a minute, and a box cutter of some sort to be able to cut the old seals off. You'll need your 3 seals, as well as a food grade high temperature grease. We use Molykote, the 111 compound. And then you may need one of these plastic rings that I'll show you in a minute, as well as a new filter group and filter washer. By the way, the filter washer and group or basket, as well as these seals, come in a repair kit or the maintenance kit for the retro unit. So you can buy this whole kit, has all other types of seals and things in there that you may need, or you can just purchase these separately. Unfortunately, in that kit, these rings do not come in there because they can be reused and rarely need to be replaced. So once you have all those tools, I'll show you the next step. Okay, now I'm going to pretend that we have taken out the group head. This is an example of what we've got here for us. You would have removed the other one, but as you remove that, again, it's going to be strong. You'll see these springs here as you're pulling that out. Now this one pulls a little easier because it has cooled off, and so it's not hot. But you'll want to be able to do that, and we'll pull the rest of that out and show you how to change these seals. Okay, now as we lift this out, you'll notice that this one has some different colored rubber seals on it. I'll show you that in a second. We're just going to lay that down right there. By the way, these were ones that we test some things for you so you don't have to. These are silicone rubber seals instead of the high temperature ones. We don't recommend these silicone ones at all. They don't last very long. They're easier to get on and off, but they're not worth the trouble that they cause. So you'll want to be able to buy the correct ones of the high temperature rubber seals for that. Once you have that lifted out, I'm going to set this aside for a second so we can have some workspace. You'll want to grab your box cutter, and you're going to just cut these seals right off. As you cut those seals off, you should be able to pull them apart. Okay, and with those apart, you can see the remaining rings that are there, the white ring that is still there. You may need to wipe this off with a rag and be able to kind of shine it up. It is brass, so be careful with it. But this white ring, you can just gently pull it apart and pull that off so that it's out of the way for this next step. You will want to clean it and make sure that it's good to go. But they are broken, which is not the technical term. It's actually cut intentionally to be able to wipe or go around that ring, and that just helps guide it up and down the cylinder. So with that off, we're going to move on to the next step of replacing these rings. There is a correct way to do this. direction-wise and a wrong way. So again, you're looking at it up. You want your rings, has a V seal at the bottom, so you kind of see they're open. You want the open side on the first one to point down. The second one you'll want to point up, and the last one you want to point down. That keeps the water from running out of the group head because there is hot water running through that. And so you want them down, up, down is the correct order for those. Okay, so I'm going to show you these rings here, the seals. You can see that they, kind of turn that towards you a little bit so you can see that end of it. They are a very tight fit. So theoretically you could get it on like this. Again, if it's hot, metal expands when it's hot, so it's a little harder to do. So what we recommend actually is this zip tie, that type of zip tie. You can put it through, and with that zip tie, it allows you to pull that up and over these ridges, because you want to get to the top ridge first. And so with that, you can just kind of work your way around, and it will be able to move from one spot to the next without settling in where you can't get it out. And so we'll move that right over. You kind of pull it around, not just like that. You want to make sure that it settles into that groove. You can kind of see that it's flared out a little bit. We're going to pull that zip tie out and then kind of lift it up and make sure that it massages into that particular groove. So once it's in that groove, we're going to do the next one. Again, the first one points down, the second one points up. So we'll put that on. And this is going a little easier because it is cold. So if you have one to do a repair on and you know ahead of time, you can turn your machine off, let it cool down, and then a few hours later, you can come and make these changes for it. Okay, so that one is right in there. Again, just kind of make sure that it gets settled in there. So the last one, this last one points down. It's the easiest one to put on. I can just drop it right in there, kind of turn that. The one thing that you do not want to forget is the plastic ring. You want to be able to put that right on there and kind of seal that around. So then that is the internal part of this group head. Okay, now that you have the seals on, you're going to want to grab your grease compound and tear that open and grease the inside of this whole chamber. Just make sure it's got a lot of grease on it. You'll also do the rubber seals, and then you're going to put that inside of the group head and just set that down in, and then we'll bolt that in just a second. Okay, now that we have inserted that in, you're going to replace the 4 bolts that are in there and turn your machine on, and you should be ready to go, except for the last part is this filter screen. You want to make sure once it heats up, that grease that's in that chamber is going to get warm and it's going to run down. And so you want to make sure that any extra is wiped off. You can move the lever a couple times and it will pressurize a little bit of water, but it will just move some of that grease down to the bottom where you can clean it out. Otherwise, that grease collects right in here and covers those holes. And what that will do is create a loud popping sound because there's nowhere for the water to go. So that next shot, it could actually pop out the portafilter. So you want to make sure that you wipe off any excess grease, that there is not any running down into the filter screen. Then you can pop your filter screen on and you are ready to go. Well, thank you for watching these videos from Shiloh Coffee Supply. We have great videos that you can subscribe below on how to use the Fracino machines, as well as how to repair or do any of the maintenance on the Fracino espresso machines and their grinders. Appreciate it very much and have a great day.